The dam is an alabaster fortress, capped with Art Deco flourishes, and so soundly engineered, it is expected to last a millennium. To absorb the financial risks of building it, 6 major construction companies combined forces in partnership with the federal government. A model of ingenuity, it is the closest approximation in the US to the Great Pyramids and required as much hubris. Before the dam was built, the Colorado River swung between seasonal floods and withdrawals, alternately swamping and drying out southwestern farms, homesteads and towns. It was an American Nile awaiting regulation, proclaimed the Los Angeles engineer and federal hydrographer, Joseph Barlow LePincott, in 1912. It needed to be corralled, he said, in as intelligent and vigorous a manner as the British government has treated its great Egyptian prototype. In 1922, California, eager to feed a booming economy and population, began lobbying the federal government to dam the river. It also wrangled water so aggressively that the 6 other basin states worried they'd lose their share. That same year, the Colorado River Compact was drafted to settle those fears, with water from the river allocated in annual batches measured in acre-feet, the amount needed to cover an acre of land to a depth of 1 foot. Today, a single acre-foot is enough to serve 3 households annually, depending on usage. The states estimated in 1922 they would have 16.5 million acre-feet of river water available annually, a figure that decades later proved to be wildly optimistic. Court battles between Arizona and California over water rights took decades more to settle and left the federal government as the arbiter of allotments in the region. But the 1922 compact allowed the basin states to jointly tame the river, ultimately with the Hoover Dam. The river was diverted, the dam's 726-foot concrete wedge filled the canyon, and the water was allowed to rush back in. For the first time, the Colorado River was being directed and managed with a giant faucet. Lake Mead became so voluminous that its weight deformed the Earth's crust and in the 1930s triggered more than 600 minor earthquakes. Like dams before and after, Hoover Dam also disrupted plant, marine and wildlife habitats, unsettled sediment deposits, and created reservoirs that emitted methane and other greenhouse gases. All that water also enabled the extraordinary manufacturing, agriculture, technology and residential boom in the Southwest. The water's eventual decline, which started to be felt at the turn of this century, stands to have an equally powerful impact. During a 6-day stretch in mid-June, warm Pacific Ocean air carried along the jet stream became trapped in the atmosphere over western states, a phenomenon known as a heat dome. Record high temperatures occurred in several places, extending the worst megadrought in centuries, amplified by climate change. Soaring temperatures have also reduced runoff from the Rocky Mountain snowpack that replenishes the Colorado River and have caused Lake Powell and Lake Mead to evaporate more rapidly. Yet the coming shortages have been anticipated. We are not in a state of panic. We're prepared. We knew it was coming, and we've been storing water underground, says Sharon Megdal, director of the University of Arizona Water Resources Research Center. But the situation is bad, and it's growing worse sooner and faster than we thought it would. Some aren't going to be able to continue business as usual. They will have to adapt. Southwesterners bristle at the idea that they shouldn't live in such a forbidding region, or that they have somehow overlooked the peril of dwindling water supply. Yes, Las Vegas casinos have waterfalls and Venetian canals, and Phoenix has golf courses, but Southwesterners say such oddities don't represent their relationship to water. And in fact they don't. Arizonans use less water now than they did in the 1950s, despite a population boom. A pivotal factor in that shift was refashioning agricultural lands for residential living. Homes use much less water than farms do. But smart planning also played a role. Legislation the state passed in 1980 regulates water use, conservation and land development. The state also diversified its sources of water. In the 1950s, 69% of its supply came from groundwater. Now only 41% does, as the chart below shows. Water from the Colorado River accounts for the lion's share of that difference.